AI imagery is very appealing in the sense that it's just, you get something so realistic so quickly. Most of the time, what I see with these sort of AI generative imagery is that it's not really creating architecture.
I think mid-journey people uploaded so many images in Facebook and Instagram for a few months. Nobody's doing it anymore. They're tired of it. For me, I think about it, but then I forget about it when I'm actually doing it. You know, when I'm actually thinking about this technology like biomimicry, I want a blurry window, like it's like a membrane, like a eyelid. I think about these things, but then when I actually design, I forget about it. A lot of times this happens. So there's this mindset where I'm thinking about this futuristic, technological thing where, maybe building can breathe or something, move, it doesn't have a window, doesn't have anything like that. So there's an extreme case of this biological and technological, mechanical, all fused together. And I think about that. But a lot of times I do that in drawings. But then when I come to architecture, I think so far I have been not able to really dive deep into it, really, to be honest with you, because I guess many times it's the time schedule and the economic issues, the budget issues. So a lot of times I was not really able to put a lot of thought into it. But as a background, like a substratum, there's always this urge to do something really special about something that is. So a lot of times, so I use technology as I twist it and make fun of it sometimes. Like, I would put a door, I shape it in a strange way, and you open it, and then you bang your head and you fall over. So that's a security door. So I make it put it in a different dimension or some sort of thing. So yeah, I think in a lot of cases, sometimes a lot of them becomes images also, but I'm thinking in technology in a rather not contemporary but far-fetched, so that it's not really affecting me that much. Or the other idea would be like I would build something that is futuristic but stationary. You know what I mean? Like if I designed some building that looks like a spaceship, it never really lifts off, but I have this imagination that gaps the void, like this is not really a spaceship, but I have built in a way that if you can imagine in this space that this can fly, then that's kind of the thing I would really put into architecture. You know what I mean, right? So it's not actually, sometimes the technology is not there, but the imagination of the architect or the manifestation of some things as an image that belongs to architecture becomes a kind of a vision where these can be imagined. So I think to sum it up, I don't put too much thought into really using contemporary technology into architecture and doing it. But as a premise of like the far future, I think about it. Yeah.
To be honest, Ryan and I, when we work together, we don't ever use Midjourney or DALL-E type of stuff. So we don't actually engage in like AI generative images and such. That's because I think maybe it's because we grew up studying architecture with sketches and actual modeling, like 3D modeling tool, rather than prompts that you put in online and then it just spits out images, like mindless images almost. So I think it can be helpful for a lot of people, but I hope people do learn how to do a drawing first, know how to actually draw, how you want, like how you imagine in your head to be on the paper that is in front of you, and then use that as a base for, new AI images. I think that's okay. However, yeah, that's just not how we work.
AI imagery is very appealing in the sense that it's just, you get something so realistic so quickly. Most of the time, what I see with these sort of AI generative imagery is that it's not really creating architecture, right? If you kind of look into how those models work, it's like understanding pixels as a grid, and it's basically predicting ways that they would be arranged that would be appealing based on the input that it learned from based on your prompt. And in that sense, you see it's the sort of stairs that go to nowhere, and things like this, you really have to remember that it is basically a 2D grid of pixels. And I think there's definitely AI out there that's working with three-dimensional stuff, but I think the creative impulse for us is definitely to kind of like work in it ourselves. I think the more interesting applications for AI right now are the ways that buildings control not just climate, but I mean mostly climatic aspects, and I think there's a lot of research going into, for example, buildings right now, we have the air conditioner going here, we have all this machinery, and this is what sustains the way that we live in buildings. It makes buildings livable. But through AI, being able to have sort of sensors and things in buildings that allow the building to learn about itself and then do all the things that we would normally have done in a building in the old days, right? Opening windows at the right time to make sure that the air isn't stuffy, or like controlling the temperature. And there's a lot of research into utilizing AI to make buildings livable, but doing this through means that are less about putting tons of technical junk inside the building. So for me, that's the most interesting current sort of use for machine learning in architecture.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't talk about this, but AI, yeah, I was like, you know, it was a big news for a few months now. It's a little quiet now, but I agree with you. The thing is, I have a friend who is now attending Pratt, and she's surprised that, you know, she did something else as an undergrad, and she expected that she would do some freehand sketches and everything, but they just learn Rhino right from the start. So they are not exposed to any real hand work. And even everybody has to buy a printer, 3D printer. So they don't even know how to make models. So so I think it's the technology in education or AI, these things is going in I think it's a strange direction, because I think using hand and is an important thing. And you see, the thing about technology is that if everything is possible, it means you don't do it, because everything's possible, and then you don't bother, because everything's possible. You couldn't be bothered, right? Because nothing becomes so ubiquitous that you don't want to do it. I think the technology has that danger, I think, because I think everything is possible, and you get tired of it very quickly. I think mid-journey, people uploaded so many images in Facebook and Instagram for a few months. Nobody's doing it anymore. They're tired of it. And I agree. I really like your point where you talk about, you know, how technology becomes like it's just helping out in a subtle way, and all these mechanics. For example, you know, when we were here first, it was hot, right? So, but the AI, if they see people, they will just moderate the temperature and all that. That will be very convenient, right? And the other thing I think about technology is that when I was younger, I thought about technology as something that is really, really hidden. So for example, we have TVs, we have like ovens and everything, but I thought of a future where it's all in the wall. So the wall becomes the technology itself. So nothing's really visible, but it manifests when it has to. So I think one of the technologies that is going that way is one of the ways that I think it becomes part of a system. I think there's a sector where that could go, as everything merging into something that is no longer technology is visible anymore. As there's a one way I think that's going, and a possibility there. Yeah.
The last comment, do you have any positive opinion about what Korean architect should do or shouldn't do? Very hard question. Moon has his own very specific design language that we should be more focusing on creating more like creative work.
I think before we had started this, we were speaking with Moon Sun-Seng about a project he was working on abroad, and I was just, that really makes me think I'd like to see more Korean architecture and design exported to other parts of the world. Korea still imports a lot of design for competitions, but there's so much creativity here. It excites me when I see, beyond other sort of like K-pop and food items that go out into the world, to see Korean architecture and design go more.
As you said, I think it would be really nice if Korean architects, as you said, have a different sort of like creativity, different ideas, and that goes exported somewhere else. And once they get the taste of it, it might work, right? Because they haven't, it's like they have never really, like once before experiencing ondol, they don't know, right? Heating the floor? Why? Why would you do that? And then some people fall for it, right? Oh man, I can lie on it and my back gets warm, and you know, whole floor is the furniture. It's a different concept. And then that could work for some people, right? So it's just that people are not aware of it. So I think there's a great chance that if enough people enough work is exported, I think we'll make a scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
I think
And that's good for American architects, also young architects, because they do it. That we, the American young architects do that too. So it's like a surge of small projects. Why not?
Yeah.
I have to talk about Min-seok because when I was young, I think he's just on 2 years older than me. But I was in college and I saw the news, and then it said first Korean to win Shingenjuku competition. He was the first one to win the Shingenjuku competition. You know this one?
No.
Okay, this Shingenjuku competition is an idea competition which is very famous, at least in Korea. Oh, it's a global thing. So at that time, Fumio Maki was the juror, and he won it. So I took note of him. Oh, Koreans winning world competition! Wow! So that's when I got to know him. And the second time, Min-seok won the competition, right? Venice Biennale. He won. He also invited my drawings over there. So I was, we became friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of sensitivity in a lot of his work. We had a couple of chances to speak with him during the Biennale, I guess, and really, he would be another Korean architect that, of course, he's already very famous.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But we respect his work a lot.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really good thing or positive thing about Korean architecture scene. As maybe Moon-hoon 선생님 or Jo Min-seok 선생님 is one of very big guy in leading Korean architecture industry.
He's a really hard worker, and he does I think a lot of research, and he's very good with he knows a lot of people too, which is a surprise. I mean, it's like when you're with him, you meet a lot of people because of him. Oh, he knows everybody. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
So okay, I think this is good. This is all good. I think so. I really appreciated the fact that you guys being here and have really nice, interesting discussion.
Well, thank you
for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. We've been too serious today, right?
Yeah, I think you're the one who told me that you shouldn't talk about architecture anymore. You talk about different things.
Yeah, but then
You're talking about architecture.
Yeah, but then we are architects. No, if I was alone, I would be really, But then we have something to play with, So it was good. Good to meet you, great young architects.
I think we are giving audience giving a very good insight to the channel.
I think this is good. It's good that we have this mix because it's just one person coming out and just talking about his work. I think it's a boring thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be boring. After 1 minute, there's nothing to talk about.
We need to have a different point of view.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. And he has a view from outside, right?
Yes.
So which is good because you have an outside view. You see something more succinctly, right? Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching us. Please subscribe. 이원재 건축 레시피. Thank you.
He's gonna cook architects. Yeah. What's the next recipe? Yeah.
이원재 건축 레시피였습니다. 감사합니다.